From the flizzo.
Okay. So I have the thought for the day. So here's the deal. You know, we kind of have this notion that we get stuck on, that the serious work, the holy work, the sacred work is all kind of somber and solemn. But, you know, I don't think that's true. You know, yesterday on this Instagram Live thing, and I always get asked this question, oh my God, you know, you work with gang members. It must be so hard, and I always feel fraudulent because I go, no, we mainly just laugh, you know. And yesterday I kept kind of going shh because people were just raucously laughing, and I was trying to have a meeting. But so the other day I was in my office and Isaiah was sitting in front of me, and I was going through the mail. I was going to give him mail to go deliver, and Daniel Ramirez came in, and he looked at Isaiah and he said, is Isaiah bothering you? And Isaiah and I laughed. I said, no. And he said, gee, you got to pray for me right now. I have a prayer request that's so urgent. And it seemed kind of odd. And he closed his eyes, he bowed his head, and he leaned on his cane. And I said some kind of prayer and blessing. And he opened his eyes, he looked at Isaiah, and he said, damn, he's still here. The whole thing was a big old setup, you know. And 2 days later, he came into my office, and he said, I don't know what's going on with the world at all. And I said, what happened? He said, well, the other day I was in church, and there was a woman down the pew from me, and she pulls out a cigarette, and she lights it right there in church. And I thought, I nearly dropped my beer. And he turned around and walked out of my office. Well, you tell me that's not holy, sacred. That's exactly the way it's supposed to work, you know, and that God kind of made us because God thought we'd enjoy the life that we have. I remember years ago, in our old office, I parked in the back there at 1848 and 1960 in one of those offices, and I catch a homie at training. He's behind a dumpster and he's blazing it in the middle of the day, and I go, what the hell? So I pull him into my office. We have a very long conversation, and at the end, I said, you know, Louis, I'll call him Louis, when God made you, he broke the mold. And he goes, wow, really? I said, yeah. He took one look at you and said, no, I'm not going to make any more of these guys. And he goes, that's dirty, which was his favorite catchphrase, that's dirty. Well, years later in this office, he comes in and he hands me a folder of all these jobs, applications. I need a second job because my wife, my lady, she's still on eternity leave. So I corrected him, and he goes, no, it's eternity leave. It's going on forever. He said, and then out of the blue, he kind of downshifts, and he says, what is autism? So I thought, well, that's kind of odd. And so I explained it as best I could. He goes, you know, I think I'm autistic. I said, no, you're probably just artistic. And he goes, huh, artistic. How about handsome-istic? I said, well, first of all, there's no such word, and second of all, if there was such a word, it wouldn't apply to you. Storm, he grabbed the folder, he goes to the door, he turns around and he goes, that's dirt. Istic, he said, and then he walks out the door. Here's the thing. Don't think for a second that the healing that happens here is this deep and always excavating of wounds, and somehow it's a thing that is always serious or sacred or solemn. It's really holy when we laugh and when we enjoy ourselves. It forges new neural pathways, as they say. It rewires our brain. So enjoy the day and recognize that the laughter that we hear here is really sacred-istic. Okay, so